Hey there, it's Chrissy Key Rollins here, and I had to hop on. I just did an energy update yesterday, but this is something that I felt to mention, and it's really nudging at my heart. It's very important, and somebody needed to hear this. So here we go. It is vital during these times as we're finding ourselves at social distancing, spending more time within our households with our families that we're not used to being around quite so much. It is more important than ever that we pay attention to how we are treating one another. Typically, it's our typical human way. We usually reserve our best behavior for when we're out in public, for when we're interacting at work, or when we are out socializing. And then we tend to let our integrity slide a little bit at home. We let out our worst sides of our personalities to those that we're closest to and to our loved ones. There's lots of reasons why this happens, and that's not the focus of today's little tips. The focus more is on the fact that this happens. You watch it. This is why you hear your kids are awesome at school, but when they're at home, you're like, how can they be awesome at school when they're acting like this at home? And vice versa. Your kids see you be kind and patient with a total stranger and then lose your temper with them seemingly at the drop of a hat. So as we are finding ourselves in closer corners, as we are finding ourselves around our children more, which is such a beautiful gift, although it can be challenging. Hey, whoever just joined live, welcome. Be sure to chat in. We have to remember these are unusual circumstances. We didn't prepare for it. So even though we love having our children, our family around more, it can definitely be an extra challenge because we just simply weren't prepared for this happening. We didn't have the warnings coming or any time to really put all of our ducks in a row. So we've been forced into this change situation. We've been forced into a new normal. And on top of it, not only are we in confined spaces, but we have this impending threat on some level out there wavering around in the universe, in the world, and on our social media platforms. All of them, I see it everywhere that I go. So I know that you're seeing it everywhere too. So we have added stress on top of close quarters, on top of not used to being around each other quite so much. Let's also bring in the fact that we just started Aries season. It just kicked off yesterday, March 20th. We're going to write it out for the next few weeks. And it is a fire sign. Aries is a fire sign. So it's a fiery season, which means you're going to be quicker to feel the angstiness. You're going to be quicker to be kind of explosive in your reactions. And so is everybody else. So we have this impending outside stress. We got the fiery season upon us. We got these close corners. I mean, hello, if you're not feeling it yet, if you haven't rubbed up against somebody in your house in an unpleasant way, just know it's probably coming. But there are things that you can do and you can keep in mind for a little bit more mindfulness in order to maintain the peace or diffuse situations, or at least not be part of the cycle that keeps it continuing and keeps it continuing. So here are my best tips. First of all, we have to remember, regardless of what is said, regardless of how it is said, regardless of what is done, regardless of what the action is, even if it's straight in your face, you, what comes out of other people is not personal. It has very little to do with you and much more to do with what they are feeling in the moment, what they are thinking in the moment. Hey, Erica, thanks for being here. I'm keeping this super quick because I know that we're about to have a group session for the reset, which, by the way, anybody out there that's feeling stressed or concerned around your financial situation or your body, your health during this time, let's connect. I already have a program underway, the 2020 Body Mind Reset, which exactly supports you to emotionally handle the ups and downs and concerns that come with money and finances and with your body. So it really is about inner stability while there's outward uncertainty. It's prime time to plug in, reach out if you want more details. So remember, it's not personal. Even if it comes out of them, if it comes out of the other person, it is not personal. Now, what comes up inside of you, that is personal. That is something for you to take a look at, another invitation, but we won't even go into that. We'll just remember what comes out of another person, it is not personal. So when you can take a deep breath and you can understand what I'm hearing, seeing, and watching from this person is a demonstration of what they are feeling, regardless if it's valid, regardless if it's the truth, regardless if their feeling is like an absolute truth that goes on always or just a momentary passing. It is their truth in that moment. Good morning, Rachel. So glad that you're here. So don't take it personal. Listen to what they have to say and take a step away. If the tone of voice is raised, if their words are condescending or degrading or name calling, it is not a sign that they are looking to communicate with you and hear your side of the story. It is a sign that they are looking to be heard. And the best thing that you can do, even if you feel like you're right and they're wrong, is to be silent and hold the space for them to express, or be responsible and take distance and don't engage until the tone is calmer, the language is more supportive, and the name calling stops. Whenever that comes about, that is a sign that it's time to communicate both ways. Whenever it's just kind of like the spewing or the venting, that's all it is. So don't take it personal. Have you ever had a time where you were just feeling agitated, regardless if it was warranted or not? Probably so. And we're going to have those moments. And because we're in the safe space of our family and our loved ones, which are here to provide unconditional love and acceptance for us, we get a little loosey-goosey and a little messy-wessy, and we start pooping all over those around us instead of treating them with the love and respect and kindness that we really, really feel in our heart for them. So remember, don't take it personal. And when the conversation is not one that is being asked to go both ways, listen, take your space, and just really use it as an opportunity to cultivate a better relationships within your family. Because this is the bottom line. This is what I anchor into anytime that things start to go a little off kilter in my own home. I remind myself, we're on the same team. We want the same goal. We want a peaceful household. Everybody who lives in my house, there's 3 of us, we want love. We want to be acknowledged. We want to be considered, and we want to be respected. We want all of that. So at any time that that is not happening, it doesn't matter who is doing what. It takes one person to remember our common goal is the same, peaceful household. So if we are not experiencing peaceful household, then one of us needs to give up the fight. Set it down and remember, we're here to have a peaceful household. Let's build it up from there. And that's a much better way to go about it than trying to figure out who's right and who's wrong. A lot of times you're both right and you're both wrong. We all have our own individual experience of the same thing occurring at the same time. So it's important to remember, just because you see it one way, you experience it one way, you hear it, you see it, whatever it is, your experience of it can be completely different from the other person's. It's hard to recognize that, but the more that you can do that, or you can open up to the what if. Hey Mira, so glad you're here too. If you can open up to the what if they're just communicating how they're feeling in the moment and not the absolute be all end all truth? What if I just extend some grace and compassion for the fact that they obviously can't make a better choice right now, even though they have the capacity to? It only takes one person to break a cycle and to break a pattern. And if you can be that one person to take that deep breath, to remember it's not personal, to remember that you have this common goal. If you have a common goal in mind and you guys are not seeing eye to eye, somebody is misunderstanding somebody. And all of you are really fighting for the same thing. So remember that, and let me know, what are your best tips for diffusing volatile situations within the home, or maintaining peace and dealing with different personalities and dynamics? Definitely drop them in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, consider sharing this with someone else. And if you found this on my YouTube channel, then click subscribe while you're here. I'm going to be dropping videos like this on the regular while we're all writing this out together. And I thank you. Oh, one more thing about Aries season. This is one of the traits that I really find about Aries season that's super helpful for the household. Okay, and then I'm wrapping it up, Erica. We're going to start the session. Okay. Aries has a tendency. This is the energy of Aries. Aries is not one that likes to start fights. Aries likes everything to stay cool. They like energy. They like excitement. They like to do like big rush stuff, but they like everything to stay cool. They're not looking to cause problems. They're not looking to start fights, but they're fiery. So if they interpret you as starting something or out of alignment or bringing something to them, if they feel like you're stepping up over them, they're not going to deal with that. They're going to step up taller than you and try to shut you down. Not because they're looking to brawl, but because they're looking for peace. Now, typically when somebody does this and then somebody does this, it usually gets into like that kind of situation. But just understand, if you're dealing with somebody and all of a sudden they're like trying to shut you down, even whenever you're like, hey, whoa, I didn't even know that I stepped on something, excuse me, right? And they try to do that little shutdown, understand it's their way of saying, let's get back to the calm, not bring it on. They don't want to bring it on. But if you bring it on, they're going to come right at you because that's how they are. And that's the energy of right now. So if you feel like someone's being unnecessarily angsty or they're trying to shut you down, understand they're just saying, let's get back to the calm. And if you try to match that, it's just going to bring more of it. It happens. It's like throwing fire on fire, fire on fire, fire on fire. It just makes a big old mess, right? All right. I love y'all. Drop some tips, share this video, and stay well. I love you so much. Bye.